In today's video, we're talking about robbery charges in Arizona. There are some specific elements that are required in order for a person to have been considered to have committed conduct that amounts to robbery. And so we're going to run through what those different elements are and what they mean, and then talk about what level of what classification of felony robbery is under Arizona law. Where do we find this information? As always, it's at the Arizona Revised Statutes website. If you go there and look up 13-1902, you will see robbery. There are different levels of robbery. So there's robbery, then the more serious level of that is aggravated robbery, and then there's armed robbery. We're not talking about those other two, only today we're talking about robbery. We'll discuss the others in different videos. So what are the elements? What's required of an individual? What do they have required to have done? What's their mindset, their mental state? What kind of conduct did they have to engage in order for this to be considered robbery? These are the different elements that are defined under the statute. First and foremost, in order for it to be robbery, it needs to be in the process of taking property. So all of the rest of this needs to have been done in the process of taking property. It's very specific, taking property. That property needs to be on the person or in the person's immediate vicinity. So it needs to be right in their presence. So it's not taking a property from somebody who's not around. It's not taking somebody's car when they're inside asleep. It's taking their wallet from that person. It's taking their purse. It's taking something that is physically on them or right near them. So within the process of taking that property, it needs to be from a person in order to be robbery. If it's not from a person, that element is not going to be met. So that could be a good defense. You can make an argument that that property that was taken was not on the person or in their immediate presence, and therefore that element of robbery is not going to be met. Also, in robbery, there needs to be some sort of a threat or threatening to use a certain amount of force. In a different video, I talk about what force is. There's a definitions portion of robbery statutes. You need to look those up as well. This is a key term of art. It's a legal term of art. Force means very specific things. I cover that in a different video. But threatening the use of force, really what that means is some sort of physical activity that's going to coerce somebody into doing something. There needs to be intent. So all of this needs to be done intentionally. A person needs to be doing this of their own will, knowing what they're doing. If any of the stuff happens accidentally or unknowingly, there's not going to be any intent there. So in criminal law, you need an act, a physical conduct, but you also need a proper mental state. And here, this is intentional. Somebody's thinking intentionally, I'm going to go do this. And then finally, what we need here is all of this adding up in order to coerce a person to surrender that property or to prevent them from resisting surrendering that property. So all of this behavior adds up, and the purpose is, all of this is intended to coerce a person to give up their property, or it's to prevent them from resisting giving up that property. So these are the 5 elements. You can see here, the statute's a little bit cumbersome, and so all of this is kind of blurred together in one big long sentence. We break it up as defense lawyers because we want to attack each one of these different elements. It's important you understand that, and understand that each one of these different terms here has different legal definitions and different terms of art. So what we want to do here is begin looking at the facts of your case, seeing where they don't align with the elements of the statute. If you can do that and you can knock one of these elements out, there's a good argument that you are not actually guilty of robbery because you don't meet the statutory elements. Now that we know what the elements are, what are the penalties for robbery charges? As I said at the beginning of the video, there are more serious versions of robbery. In Arizona, we have 6 classifications of felony offenses. Class 1s are at the top. They're the most serious. Class 6 are at the bottom. They're the least serious. Robbery in Arizona is a Class 4 felony. So it's kind of right there in the middle. It's fairly serious charge, as you can see here. It's not at the low end of the spectrum. It's kind of right there in the middle. And so if you've been charged with robbery, if somebody that you know or love has been charged with robbery, it's very important that you discuss what you want to do in terms of legal representation. If you can't afford an attorney, they will appoint one for you. However, if you can, it's not going to hurt you to go and speak with private counsel. We offer free case evaluations at our office, so if you or somebody you know has been charged with robbery, give us a call. Whether you can afford us or not, we're happy to sit down with you, talk about how these elements apply to your specific case. Make sure you understand how they work. Make sure, more importantly, that you have a plan moving forward so that you can survive this case and come out the other end in the best possible situation that is available to you. So give us a call. We look forward to speaking with you soon, and thanks for watching.